Hello, welcome back, guys. Today's lab is on 5 short commands you should master when working with Cisco iOS. The first command I want us to learn today is show version. Let's enable show version. The show version command gives us the router's configuration register, essentially the router's firmware settings for booting up. Like with show version, we can first get the model of the router. Like here we have Cisco ISR. We also have the version of Cisco IS. Version is version 15.5. We also have the name of iOS file. As you can see here, we have the name of iOS file. Okay, we can also check the last time the router was booted. This is the last time the router time, 37 minutes and 50 seconds. With show version, we can also see the interfaces of the router or switch. Here we have 3 gigabit internet interfaces and the router's amount of RAM and flash. Here we have this amount of bytes on non-volatile configuration memory. We have this for physical memory, and we have this for flash memory at boot file. And for the NVRAM is used to store the startup configuration file. When we save this running configuration, it's normally saved in a non-volatile RAM. And for the flash memory is used to permanently store the Cisco iOS. This operating system we have here for the router is normally stored here on flash memory. And the physical memory, this for RAM, the holding capacity for the running configuration. This command can be abbreviated with we can write only show var. When you write the show var, we get the same results as show version. So instead of writing show version, you can just write show var command and get the entire details of this command. Another command I want us to learn is show running configuration. The show running configuration command shows the router, the switch, or the firewall current configuration. The running configuration is the config that is in the router's memory. You change this configuration when you make changes to the router. You should keep in mind that config is not saved until we do the copy running configuration, startup configuration. This running configuration shows the current configuration, which has been held by the RAM. But when we restart this router, the entire configuration will be lost until we save this configuration. And to save this configuration, we have to write the copy the running configuration, the current configuration. We have to save them on a startup configuration or on a startup or NVRAM. When you do enter, it means that we have already saved. Or another way to save, just write command. We also save. on VRAM. So after we save, when we restart this machine, when we start this router, our configuration will remain intact. We can abbreviate the show running configuration with just show run command. When you write show run command, we get the same results. So this is one of the essential show command we should master. Another command we have to master today is show interface, show interfaces. And the show interface command displays the status of router interfaces. Among other things, this output provides the following. One, the interface status. This interface status is up. It's either up or down, but for here, for this interface, it's up. The protocol status of interface, the protocol is up, connected. The MTU is the maximum transmission unit, is the largest size frame or packet in bytes or octet that can be transmitted across this link. So it's 15,000 bytes. This interface can transmit this amount. The maximum can transmit is this size. And also we can check the utilization or the bandwidth. This is the bandwidth for this interface. And also we can check the error if we have any error. Right here for the output, have a failure, we have 0. So it's correct, it's okay. As you can see here, we have this interface. The protocol, the interface status is down. The LAN protocol is down. We can also check the MAC address of the interface. Have the MAC address of interfaces. If someone has asked you to check the MAC address of this interface, we just do write the show interface to get the MAC address. And also, as you can see, it's down and here it's up. So we have not done any configuration here on interface G0/0/1. That's why it's down. And here we have done configuration, as you can see the IP address here. We can also specify, this command is essential for troubleshooting router or switch. It can also be used by specifying a certain interface. Like I can do a show interface. Instead of interface, I can just specify interface, which interface G/0/0. As you can see the output here, we only have this interface. The first command, we had this interface, but here we only have this interface because we have specified it. So we can specify on what we want. Another command I want us to learn is show IP interface. First one was show interface, and this is show IP interface. And the show IP interface command provides tons of useful information about the configuration and the status of IP protocol and its services. The show IP interface, like here, the LAN protocol, MTU, help address set, we can do the summary, or we can do the show IP interface brief command to provide a quick status of interface on the router, including the IP address and the layer status, layer 2, layer 3. Here we had a lot of information here, but with the show IP interface brief, we actually get the summary of our interfaces. Like for this interface, we have this IP, status is up, protocol is up. These interfaces have not been assigned. We have loopback 0 with this IP address, it's up. So these are summary. Instead of writing IP interface, we can just summarize it with IP interface brief. We get the summary of the interfaces. Another command is I want us to learn today is show IP route. The show IP route command is used to show the router's routing table. This is the list of all networks that the router can reach, their metrics, have their metrics, the router's preference for them, and how to get there. This command can be abbreviated. We can abbreviate this command with show IP RO to get the same result, and can have parameters after it. We can do a show IP row and choose a parameter like OSPF. This for OSPF, we want to check the route of all OSPF. We can, instead of OSPF, we can do a show IP route static. I've configured a static here. That's why we have here. We also have our OSPF, but the most preferred here will be static because of the administrative distance. OSPF has administrative of 110 and static has administrative distance of 1. That's why it's most preferred. I have a video for static routes. Please go back and check our video for the static route. We have like 1 hour video for this. When let me disable the static to see if we can get other routes. No IP route. To disable, we write a no first, and then we specify what we want. No IP route. This is HQ. IP route destination is 2.2.2. 255.255.255.255. Next hop 192.168.1.2. Let me minimize this. What I'm saying is on IP route, we have IP route here for this guy here on this network to reach here, to reach this destination, he must pass through this IP or this interface. But here I've just written no to disable this static route. Let's enter and let's go back and do the show exit, show IP route. As you can see, before we had with show IP route, before we had a static, but now we have OSPF with ID of 110. Why we have OSPF? Because OSPF is a backup here, and I've disabled the static routes, and a backup has just prompted as just appeared here. So why static route is most preferred? It's most preferred because of the AD. The minor or the lower AD is the most preferred or the most preferred route, and the higher AD is not preferred route compared to the lower ID. So these are some of the route dynamic and static route we'll learn later. For the OSPF, we'll learn later. And RIP, we do the OSPF, we do the RIP, we do the HRP, and see what we can maneuver with our table. So, but the one thing I want to us to get and to learn more is to to do the show IP route, and also the show IP route, and specify, like here now, let's specify OSPF. As you can see now, we have, before I specified OSPF, and it did not appear because we had a static route, but here now it has appeared because we have disabled the static route. Guys, if you like this video, please share, subscribe, and like it. And let's keep watching. We have more videos to come. Thank you.